So today's quick tip is going to be about hard-boiled eggs. So I have found a couple of tricks that have worked over the years, and that's been mostly good, but I have just never been able to get my hard-boiled eggs to peel easily and not look like they've been through World War III. Obviously, I don't mean literally, but just like where they're peeling off all kinds of extra of the egg white that sticks to the shell. And there have been some batches with some of the tricks that I've learned that have come out pretty close. Like I might get one or two out of like a half a dozen that come out what I would consider perfect and beautiful. And I mean, it's not really about that, but like sometimes it is. I'm going to show you one final trick that I learned, and I had the idea is like, you know what, try all of the things you've learned together. And the last time I did eggs, I did all of the tips together and it was amazing. So I'm super excited to share. Now, I will say, before you start this, you are going to want to have this be a process that you are able to finish, because peeling your eggs at a certain temperature makes a difference. So you're going to want to do your hard-boiled eggs at a time where you can peel them as soon as they're done cooking. So that is probably the most important tip, but anyways, back to the eggs, right? So the first thing you want to do is bring your eggs to room temperature. So I usually get my eggs out the night before. That's one that I've tried and it's been okay, but by itself it was only a little bit helpful. But like I said, I'm putting together all of my tricks, and so that's one of them. So your eggs are going to be at room temperature. And if you can't do this like the night before, something that I've found that you can do is you can take your eggs and put them in very warm water in a bowl or something and let them come up to room temperature that way over the course of about an hour. So if you forget to do it the night before, you can just do that in the morning if you're gonna cook your eggs in the morning. So with this particular tip, what we're going to do is we're gonna decide which end is the fat end. And so this end is my bigger end. And the reason why we're doing that is because there is like a little air pocket up there. And that's an important part. This is not as easy to do with one hand. So finding all of my fat sides. Sometimes they're a little bit like not obvious, and then you just do your best. So, okay. So now that I've got that done, I'm gonna give these eggs a tiny little whack on the end. It's not gonna be enough to like super crack them, but it's just enough. And I don't know why this makes a difference, but this was actually one of the things that this was my final thing that I tried recently that helped make the final difference. So that's why I'm doing that. And then I'm gonna put your eggs in your pan. I'm gonna come back to this, you'll see. Ta-da, all the eggs are in the pan. And then come over to the sink, fill with water. I fill mine up on the hot water side just because it saves me a little bit of time in the pan. And I only fill it until all the eggs are covered. So there's that for you. And then the next step is actually adding just a tiny pinch of baking soda to the water. There's something about the baking soda that must help with like the water and the whole shells and softening and all of that. And then you're gonna turn on to high heat until it comes to actually like just before. You're going to have it come to just under a boil. So you're gonna pay attention to it. Like I usually just set my timer for 5 minutes and then check it. And then when it's really close to boil, turn your heat down and set your timer to 15 minutes. All right, so these have come to just starting to a boil. So I'm gonna turn my temperature way down, and I'm starting my timer for 15 minutes. All right, see you in 15. All right, so timer's going off. Eggs have cooked. off my stove. All right, so now you're gonna bring these over. Now, this is usually easier for me to do with 2 hands, but I drain off my water. All right, so next thing to do, get some cold water. Like, let your tap water run as cold as you can get it, and fill up your pan. Okay, like underwater, I can touch my eggs even though technically they're hot. It's helping to cool them, okay? Now, you can do one of 2 things. You can either drain your water right now and refill it again with more cold water. Or you can just work with them as they were and know that they're going to be a little bit warmer to the touch, but that you can use some cold water on them, like just running cold water over them as you need to as you're handling them. But I found last time that I did this, that this worked nicely. Now, I got to figure out how to set this up so that you can see me peeling these, because you need to take care of these eggs right now. If they cool off too much and get too, especially if they go into the fridge or anything, those peels are not coming off very easily. So, all right, be right back. All right, let's try this. All right, so the next thing you're gonna do is lightly tap your egg all over, okay? And then you're gonna just kind of start rolling it a little slower so I can not mess up my focus. All right, and so I'm gonna start peeling. Watch this. It just starts coming off really, really, really easily. And then do a quick rinse. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? Okay, I'm gonna do another one. And yes, the way that I have my phone set up so you can see this is awkward. I'm not gonna pretend. All right. Just do some rolling with your hand. And then find a place to start it. Oh, this one's going to be a little bit trickier. It took me long enough. I actually really do like, there we go. There's that little skin. And that's going to start slipping off now. And I probably could have done this one better, a little bit better. But these, I can tell already, I'm handling these well enough right now that these are already starting to be cooled more than what is ideal. And I can tell because it's starting to pull off too much of the egg right there. I'm gonna rinse off. So my recommendation, yeah, this is cooled off way too much. See, it took way more off, which is still better than it could be. But it is better, I'm noticing, to not do the double rinse. Like, just dump the water and fill it with cold water and let it sit while you go in and start peeling, and then rinse off so that you can keep a hold of your egg while you're peeling. Some of these are going to be better, actually. This one's doing good. Oh, and I didn't even roll this one, I don't think. So you might still have some that come out. That one's really good. You might still have some that come out a little iffy, but seriously, this is by far, and I had, I think, 2 eggs that I didn't have cracked on the end quite as much. And that could have had a role in this too. But anyway, so this is your quick tip because this seriously makes peeling eggs like so easy, and they turn out, and I don't know what it is about needing to have eggs look right. Probably because it's what we see in the grocery store. It's like kind of a grocery store standard. All right, so I'm gonna stop recording and finish getting these all peeled because I think this is actually slowing me down trying to make sure you guys can see it. So I'll be back. And so here's what I ended up with. I mean, look at these. This one had a little bit of a glitch on it. I realized it's like if you start peeling on the fat end that you smacked after you rolled your eggs around. So if you start peeling on the fat end after you've rolled your eggs around, I actually had a better time with that. This one I started on the other end and I realized that, and I did my next one and all the rest of them came out beautifully. So, and this one I had started on the side, so it might have turned out better if I had started with the fat end that I smacked in the first place. But anyway, so that's such a win for me. I'm happy with those eggs. They peeled super easy, and it probably took me like 2 minutes to peel them. Whereas if you're doing it the other way, they come out looking really, really sad like this all over the place, assuming that you don't have half an egg showing in the yolk. And so anyways, so there you go. So now you can actually use your eggs for egg salad sandwiches or deviled eggs or potato salad or whatever you use your eggs for. I will take these now and I will put them in a plastic sandwich bag, and we will use them as snacks as we need a little snack during the day to get us between meals or something. So hopefully that helps you not like, I stopped making hard-boiled eggs for a long time because they were such a pain, and now they're not a pain. I was really excited to try that little trick because it made all the difference in the world. So now you have a quick tip for that, and it's super easy, and you can just have them done like easy peasy. So enjoy.